I'm ready for some high school football. News 12 now.
So much for our nice stretch of football weather.
What's happening is happening. It's done. The past is dead.
Coaches keep calling us for the forecast.
I mean, are you going to keep calling?
It doesn't matter the elements. We'll get you your video of any games played.
Go get a stop. Let's go.
So let's shower you with highlights on this week 6 edition of the Blitz. Undefeated Croatan had its biggest test of the season. The Cougars hosted Coastal Conference preseason favorite, Havelock. West Craven spread its eagle wings and flew to the original Washington. They took on a Pamlico team hungry for its first win of the season. And private school powers, Pungo and Parrott, put on a pretty performance for pigskin posterity. Time to get those cameras ready and say hello to some more great highlights.
The Blitz starts now!
Let's go. Welcome into another award-winning edition of the Blitz. This almost feels like an intermission because more than half the teams in our viewing area, 24 total, did not play tonight, and that was by design.
It was, and every team gets at least one bye week during the regular season, and with most teams starting conference play next week, they took tonight off.
But not undefeated Croatan. The Cougars hosted Coastal Conference preseason favorite Havelock, and that is our law offices of John Drew Warlick Blitz Premier matchup.
Where the first half was filled with punts back and forth from both the Rams and the Cougars until Andrew Williams just threw it up to King Patillo. Thank you to Mr. Johnson from New Bern Live for getting us this clip from the first half. BJ Frazier going, let's see how the Cougars respond, and boy would they in the third quarter. Cannon McBride to Riley Robinson over the middle, and folks, we were all knotted up. Andrew Gurley was pumped on the sideline. 7-7, then give it to your do-it-all back. Andrew Boucher, not looking like a water boy, but a playmaker today for the rush touchdown. Cougars take the lead, but late in the fourth quarter, Brent Wooten saying, go tie the game. Jaden Howard powered a man's run inside the red zone, gonna put the ball up in front of him to say that's a first down, but Wayne Zubiak couldn't believe the penalties that would back the Rams up for a 4th and long. Cougars defense trying to keep Williams before the first down marker, and they got him down. Cannon McBride just giving the Michael Jordan shrug, and he would go out there for victory formations as the Cougars beat Havelock for the first time in their 28-year program history, 14-7, to remain unbeaten at 6-0 on the year.
Croatan's never supposed to be Havelock. I mean, looking at the history of it, every year since we played them, they beat the crap out of us. So this feeling, I don't know what to say. Like I was over there hugging my mom. I was crying, but it means a lot. It means a lot for the school. I know everybody's going to be excited about it. There's going to be a lot of buzz now, but still got 4 more games left, and we're coming to win the conference, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, go celebrate with them. Havelock next up, West Carteret, Croatan against Northside. And elsewhere in the Coastal Conference, West Carteret, fresh off its 67-point performance against Dixon, hit the road west on Highway 24 to Swansboro. And how about the Pirates wasting no time on offense? First play of the drive, how about a little trick play, which was all the way downfield, a great catch. The Patriots trying to get the tackle here, and the drive was capped off by a nice Kevin Till fake rollout, and he found Jaden Glasson for the 7-yard score. Pirates led 7-0, and Tanner Payne said, let me at him, coach. Daniel Barrow gave him the green light. It's the Elon commit. Saw the screen route from Dallas Riggin, and he was able to find some room to the outside and in for the score. Touchdown, 7-6 or 6-7. Patriots got the ball back, but Payne coughs it up, scooped up by the Pirates, and on the sideline, Rodney Beasley fired up for the Pirates, who would score a 1-yard touchdown by Carmelo Beasley, but the Patriots come back to sneak out of the friendly city with a slim 26-25 win, keeping Swansboro winless against West Carteret since 2013.
All right, Northside Jacksonville had its Coastal Conference opener. The Monarchs welcomed Richlands to Mike Smith Stadium. And Northside wasting no time. Well rested, they go to Jamie and Johnson on little flip reverse. Seeing everybody kind of dipping into their playbook this evening. And then when you get that far down and score, Well, then you come right back with Reginald Gray looking for Matthew Smoots. And Smoots to Boots. And in for the Zoot. I have nothing to rhyme with there that actually works very well. The band said we'll take care of the Zoot part of it. Northside then going to find Gavin Davis and the little guy, the junior, already the leading receiver. How about a little reverse action himself? And the Deuce, woo, little shake and bake, and he is gone. Northside rolls 43-3.
Fruit, shoot, Kahoot. Those are just a few.
Man, could have used your help there. Over in the Three Rivers Conference, preseason favorite West Craven survived their opener, beating North Pitt 27-26.
Just 1 point, but the Eagles hit the road tonight, making the 27-mile trip to the original Washington for the Pampax League opener.
They played at Choppy Wagner Stadium. Brian Pascal trying to get his team to win its first game of the season in his second go-round in Washington. And, you know, they looked all right early on coming off that bye week. Here we go again. Yet another razzle-dazzle play from a team out of the playbook. And it's Jaron Payne with the score. And Travis Santos fired up calling that play. But here comes Wes Craven, who else but DJ Davis, going to keep it in with a skip, hop, and the jump in for the score. It was 7-6, and it was tight into the second quarter. But then Wes Craven finally got their wheels rolling. Xavier Cuthbertson, he is going to take it in. And the Pampack, boy, they hung tough for a while, starting to show signs of improvement. Their JV team won the other night against West Craven, but DJ Davis and company too much. They get a much-needed off week next Friday because they are beat up. So they finally went to work. DJ to Cuthbertson again for the 36-6 win. So West Craven stays in first place and will be for at least one more week.
Up next for Washington, a trip to North Johnston. The Panthers had to make a trip tonight to Bethel for North Pitt's homecoming.
Down 14-12 in the third quarter, Bryce Cox says, all right, watch this. I'm going to shake and bake and break one tackle, and then, I'm going to get down here, go and break another, and get the first down. And then, next up, how about Jerron Clemens? Jerron, get off me. Get off me again. Get off me one more time. He gets it all the way down inside the 10. We get that far, Breon Wilson's going to do the rest. North Pitt took its lead, first lead in the second half. Hey, congratulations to Malaysia Hankins, the homecoming queen at North Pitt. Congratulations to Breon Wilson for just being a bad man. He was in the backfield all night, just getting tackles for loss while also scoring touchdowns. And then Michael Jordan, the Newbern legend Michael Jordan, now helping North Pitt coach this year. Watch Jerron Clemens. I said, Jerron, can you get me like 3 touchdowns while I'm here? He said, nope, I'll get you 1, but I'll make it 91 yards for you. And there he goes out the door. North Pitt has a happy homecoming. They get the win, 40-24 over North Johnston.
Now, one other Three Rivers Conference game. North Lenore made the 14-mile drive to New Hope to take on Eastern Wayne. The press box, and hey, at least there was no rain out there in Goldsboro, but dark skies as the Warriors with a quick pass to Jeremiah Faison with a long run. He had just a hawk soaring behind him, but he's going to go in for the end zone. And check out this cutaway too. At the high school football game on a Friday night, wait for it, you are going to see a proposal for Eastern Wayne. How about that? Pretty special. You don't see that often at a high school football game. You ever seen that before?
Not in the middle of a game like that. One of the assistant coaches getting the yes from his future bride, and then they get the yes for the victory as they get the win, as they had to walk off for some lightning. But Eastern Wayne 35-0 over North Lenore. Southwest Edgecombe, a member of the Three Rivers Conference, but the Warriors had a non-league game tonight. They traveled to Wilson Prep to take on the Tigers, who are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the 1A playoffs. Phil Dickens is watching Southwest Edgecombe strike first with Andre Downey Jr. 4 guys try to take him down, but he dives in for the touchdown. Southwest Edgecombe says, okay, we like what we're doing here, but Wilson Prep comes right back with a touchdown of their own. Ethan Nelson. Can I find me an Ethan Nelson? Southwest Edgecombe couldn't find him or tackle him as he scores. Wilson Prep now getting together saying, can we win this game? Well, as we get the kickoff, we also get the final score from Wilson, and it was Southwest Edgecombe coming back and winning 33-26 over Wilson Prep.
We're just getting started here on this Week 6 edition of the Blitz. We have plenty more highlights to show you, including the Swine Valley Conference. But first,
our Coastal Carolina Community College fans in the stands. We thank all the youngins and the oldins and the homecoming queens and homecoming courts who braved the nasty weather tonight to have themselves a good Friday night. More high school football highlights are next. watching the Blitz. The Swine Valley Conference wasn't afraid to slop around in the mud tonight.
Preseason favorite James Kenan traveled to the west side of Wayne County to try and spoil Rosewood's homecoming.
The Tigers took their 3-1 record to Branch Pope Field, where Kenan ready to go. You know, they were a little surprised they were the homecoming opponent at Rosewood, so they wanted to take care of things early on. Eli Avent hands it up to C.J. Hill, who runs downhill and in for the easy score, just like that, 7-0. J.K. in front. And Tim Grady says, they made us our homecoming opponent. We're the homecoming opponent. They took care of that in a hurry. Jamarian Graham returns it for the score. And that had the Tigers cheerleaders excited. But you better not keep that camera on them too long. Over there, there's another touchdown by Jeremiah Hull. And then Rosewood could hang up the necklace tonight because the homecoming opponent took care of them in a big-time fashion, 49-7.
Oof. All right, let's go to Wallace Rose Hill. They had their Swine Valley Conference opener Thursday night. They tried to beat the rain. The Bulldogs welcomed winless Goldsboro to Legion Stadium and just ran all over Jamari Lamb. A 50-yard serpentine just finding his way into the end zone. He's got 9 D1 offers, and that's a big reason why. Then Matthew Wells keeps it for the 20-yard touchdown for the quarterback. Everyone was sharing the love out at Legion Stadium as Jamari Carr, 59 yards. He's going to do a little juke, and I'm going to keep going right on down the sideline. And this one got out of hand very quickly. This one, Matthew Wells, pass all the way for the touchdown as Jamari Lamb with another big run. 65-6, Wallace Rose Hill getting the win, and they're now 2-3 on the season.
All right, one other Swine Valley Conference score. It was Midway making Spring Creek squeal, 51-8. Princeton off this week. That's who Wallace plays next week. One other Thursday night game, Camden County made the trip to Pamlico County, where Brandon Akins is trying to get his Hurricanes.
You are the hit squad, you feel me? Hit squad on 3, 1, 2, 3. Hit squad. Go get you some.
Yeah, go get yourself some. They were up 14-7 until right before the half. That's when Aiden Gibbs scores for Camden County. And Akins says, okay, we're making progress. But then the 2-point conversion by Gibbs gave Camden County the 15-14 lead at the half. Trying to protect the county, but the Bruins, well, they came to life in the third quarter. Their freshman quarterback, Gabriel Norman, about one touchdown pass to Trot Pipkin. And then Hiram Lupton writing it all down for the Pamlico News. Saw Norman to Pipkin again. They scored 22 unanswered points. The Canes were cramping up, and they just couldn't quite get over the hump. They fall again 29-14, but now they start that conference play next week when they take on their rivals from Jones Senior, so someone will have to win that. Beargrass started their program again in 2017. 8 seasons. The Bears, I should have turned this around like that, sorry. But the Bears have had 4 winning records, including going 8-3 the past 2 years.
And now Beargrass is off to its best start ever. Terry Perry's squad won its first 4 games of this season.
Trying to go 5-0, back on the road for their Atlantic Conference opener. They visited Columbia in Terrell County. The Bears playing all 11-man games this year, by the way. And they took it to the Wildcats early. Connor Clifton, number 9, breaking away for the long run, but they haul him down at the 1. Terry Perry says, yeah, thank you for finally making it to Columbia, Brian. We're happy you're here. Connor Clifton happy to bang into the end zone for the touchdown. And this little fan says, go Bears, even though it's fake news. The kid was a Wildcat fan. I made him say, go Bears. I feel bad about it, but Connor Clifton doesn't feel bad about Beargrass winning 38-0 to improve to 5-0 for the first time ever. Mattamuskeet had a non-conference game at Lawrence Academy in Maryhill. That's in Bertie County. The Lakers looking for their first win of the season. Mike Blizzard calling the plays, and he says, how about my quarterback, Alex Izaguirre, looking for Hezekiah Mann, and he was the man pulling it in for the score. But Robert Brown, the second-year head coach at Lawrence, longtime Bertie assistant, says, watch Hunter Eason, number 30, the junior, is going to break some tackles and take some hits, and break some tackles and take some hits, and break some tackles and take some hits. Finally get him down. The homecoming crowd, hey, everybody get your pictures, please, because it was a happy homecoming as Lawrence improves to 4-2 with a 50-6 win over Mattamuskeet.
Staying in 8-man football, Liberty Christian back home. The Heat looking for their record 4th straight win. Hosted a Sandhills Classical Christian team out of Whispering Pines, which is west of Fayetteville. And that game was called with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Game will not be made up.
We've got more highlights to show you, including a rematch of last year's 8-man state championship game between Cary Christian and JP2.
And our Battle Royale, 4-1 Pungo Christian Academy at Parrott Academy, 5-0, their first meeting in more than 30 years. We show you what happened next right here on The Blitz.
Thank you for watching The Blitz. Time for our Battle Royale. Gather round, kids. It's time for a history lesson. Old Grandpa here loves his history lessons. The oldest private school in eastern North Carolina is Terracea in northern Beaufort County. It opened near Pamlico in 1937, but the Knights have never played football, so they're out of this discussion.
The Arundel Parrott Academy opened in Kinston in 1964, and Pungo Christian Academy opened in Belhaven in 1968. And they played each other in 11-man football a few times in the 1980s.
But Parrott went on to 8-man football in the 90s. At the same time, Pungo folded its program, but then the Raiders brought it back in 2018 as an 8-man program, and they finally reunited with Parrott tonight. Yes. The Raiders taking their 5-1 record to Hodges Field in Kinston to take on those undefeated Pats. The kids were fired up to see what would happen. They even had the wing fling going on. Man, it was like a festival at the Kinston campus. But on Hodges Field, when Parrott came out and shook hands with Pungo, and they said, okay, we're about to show you who are the big kids on the block. Let's check out the TD pass to Ben Barrett for the score. Yeah, doing the new dance. Do you know what that new dance is that I see everybody doing?
Yes.
Yeah, you do? What is it?
I'll fill you in later.
Okay, Ben Barrett again on the TD reception. Pungo Christian says, we're going to try and match this thing here, and they fling it downfield, but it is intercepted by the Patriots, and that's kind of the way things went tonight. As the Knights return for William Stimpson for Parrott, and Matt Beeman says, let's keep this thing going. I don't want the rain to stop us tonight. Let's get out of here. Here's the double pass, and it is Tanner Outlaw breaking the law and finding his man, number 32, Silas Rouse for the score. Parrott Academy wins, going away 50-0 over Pungo.
1-0 each week. I mean, we got to get better every day at practice. You know, we couldn't win a state championship right now. You know, that's the ultimate goal, but we're not there yet. We got to keep getting better week in and week out.
All right, next up for Parrott, they're going to play Howard at Barton College's football field. It'll be the final game of the regular season when they meet John Paul II. Well, it could be a great matchup.
The undefeated Saints went marching into the Triangle to play unbeaten Cary Christian in a rematch of last year's 8-man state championship game. Cary Christian getting hyped for a rematch of it, and here he goes. Number 21, you could see him running the football, and it's Krishan Williams for the score, 7-0. And JP2 feeling good, and then here comes number 7 for Cary Christian, Kenneth Calasia for the touchdown. He was able to say, yeah, let's go. He scores 2-point, no 2-point conversion, JP2. First possession of the third, Cary Christian close on some deep shots. Finally, Harvey to Philip Wentz, 36. Hard score, 27 Knights, 12-7 Knights. John Paul II answers Krishan Williams out of the single wing, and he's making it rain for the second time tonight. They took a 14-12 lead. Fourth quarter, a shovel pass to Kalashek, 58-yard gain, but they lose 15 of it. Head coach Josh Elliott for Cary Christian's second sideline warning of the game as Cary Christian, though, getting the win 20-14.
So that is JP2's first loss of the year. Let's get you some other scores. Steve Brooks and the Lady Buccaneers win again. They beat one of the crosstown rivals in Ashley 21-18. Hoggard keeps on rolling. Those Vikings undefeated, and they win 34-7, while North Brunswick spoils Topsail's homecoming 29-6. We have some scores from a couple other conferences as well. As Southern Nash shut out CD Aycock, while Hunt put it to Southern Wayne Thursday night, and Northern Nash put it to Fike also Thursday night. So, not as many games tonight. Gave us a chance to really expand on seeing some of these other teams, including the private schools. But how about Croatan setting a school record? And this was a real litmus test for Croatan, and to stand up to a Havelock team that's been here before, pretty impressive for Andrew Gurley and his squad.
28-year program existence, never been done before. Credit to that team that went all week long. They heard the noise outside. They said no sacks. I will say Havelock did get a sack, so that stat is gone. But Croatan does get the win. They were losing 7-0 at halftime, but the resilience those kids showed, super awesome. Love the emotion.
Thanks to Jonathan Davis for that first touchdown. Now, Northside Jacksonville, Dixon, They're going to have some, West Carteret, they're all going to have something to say about that Coastal
Have their
Conference.
hands full.
Everyone else joining the big conference parade next week, and we'll have it covered for you, at least I will, on your Week 7 edition of the Blitz. We'll see you next week. I will. He won't. He's leaving.
No.